A beautiful piece.
I'd like to take a time here to offer my final thoughts on the build. Overall, this is a fine league starter and an excellent map farmer. I was a bit surprised at how easy it was to level with wands from the start. I thought it was going to be painful, truthfully. I go over it in the first 2 episodes, but the damage this build is capable of during the entire campaign is pretty satisfying. Let's talk about what I didn't like. The visual clarity on the screen is abysmal, and it probably renders it unplayable for hardcore on that merit alone. You can't see anything, which makes bossing difficult if you're not used to the mechanics. And the audio was also a cacophony of sound that made it very difficult to hear voice lines and such. This was most problematic on Izaro, Eater, and Exarch. The defenses leave a bit to be desired. One should probably invest a bit more into block to try and reach block cap. And if you wanted to go further, you have access to a few suppression notables, plus lucky suppress. I honestly didn't explore graphs much this run. The damage was solid through most of my time that I just used whatever defensive options that I had. I believe I settled on the ailment removal and endurance charge / life recovery on low life ones. I was trying for a while to get Heart of Flame for the Molten Shell style shield. The Betrayal mechanic was good early for gear. I was able to get a usable helmet and ring from it. I think saving your various cartography scarabs is important for the last 2 or 3 tiers of maps. I hit a nasty dry spell trying to go from tier 14 to 15, trying various things like Kinetic missions, which don't use your Atlas tree, and originator maps that I ran magic rarity because the T17 mods are so oppressive. It wasn't until I ran a T15 with 2 scarabs on it did I really see some returns and make the progression to bosses. For a loot filter, I used Neversink's Semi-Strict and then modify it with the new caster module, hiding non-wand caster weapons. I hid all non-intelligence armor, and then I took another pass after I had a solid set of gear and hid all of the non-blue-green armor. I'm not sure how good Ghost Reaver was at my point in character progression. I didn't feel like I was constantly leeching energy shield. Getting the right stats on your weapon is crucial, and making a weapon could be counterintuitive for newer players. Though this is an attack, it seems like spell damage really does shoot your sheet DPS higher. If you were going to invest more time into the character, just go with Ben's method of fracturing a good mod like mana, using the tree of course, on a kinetic wand, and use Essences of Woe to guarantee spell damage. It's a little extra tricky on this build though. You need an open suffix, and you want crit multi and attack speed, which are suffixes, so you don't have much wiggle room and you have to be picky with your results. Although I suppose on this build in particular, attack speed is not as important since Corpse Pack gives you so much attack speed. Regarding these Pinnacle boss fights, I had to do each one 2 times. During Eater of Worlds, he started doing mechanics during the invulnerability phase, which I had never experienced before. That might be what he does during the Uber variant, that's my understanding anyway. But that made it pretty much impossible for me to beat him the first time. And strangely enough, it didn't happen the second time. And on my first Searing Exarch attempt, I just didn't respect his Annihilation attack enough and died once or twice to that. And because I'm not very good at the ball phase, I basically can't afford to take a death to any of his minor attacks. I basically have to save all my portals for dying during any ball phases. I wish I could have shown more of the mapping footage, but this league has been a real nightmare for performance, coupled with my GPU taking a nosedive recently. I was getting single-digit FPS while running through breach encounters, and sometimes it would even grind my computer to a complete halt, requiring me to restart the game. I have a new video card, so hopefully I can get things sorted out by the next series. Speaking of which, I think we are finally going to switch to Ruthless. I think I've played everything I wanted to. Earthshatter was OP, Reap was good, and 2 different flavors of Kinetic Blast really satiates my desire to use wands for a while. We're a month into Keeper's League, and we have 3 months left, which used to be the length of a Path of Exile League. So we can be afforded a comfortable amount of time to make some progress there. While making a daily video series was a nice experiment and a great crash course on basic video editing, I cannot continue to do so. My work and family life simply do not permit such things. Plus, I definitely burned out by the end here. I'd like to thank everyone who followed along with me. I'm looking forward to the next chapter, and I hope you'll be there with me to check it out.